Good afternoon, Trump's family. Welcome back to my channel. Have a good day and God bless you. God bless America. Let's get into the news. And a feud between Elon Musk and liar Adam Schiff continues on Twitter as Elon continues to throw barbs at Adam Schiff, and of course, fact check him every chance he gets, because Adam Schiff is a liar and Adam Schiff is someone who is not looking for the betterment of this country. He's looking for the betterment of himself and his pocketbook and the absolutely disgusting things he does behind closed doors. We know that dude is tied to the Standard Hotel in California. What happened there, Adam? We know anyway. Story picked up by Postmillennial was the most recent interaction between Adam Schiff and of course, Elon Musk continues to go after these liars as more and more revelation of the Twitter files continues to reveal the corruption within Twitter and the FBI and Congress as they were looking to silence individuals they did not like going around the US Constitution, which they have sworn to uphold in order to silence their critics. That is what these reports are showing. And of course, I think Elon has the receipts on people like Adam Schiff. And this is why he's so bold to be able to speak the way he does to Adam. So let's go and dive into what we have here. Coming to us from the Post-Millennial. It says Elon Musk challenges Adam Schiff. Do you approve hidden state censorship and direct violation of the Constitution? This comment comes in the wake of the most recent round of Twitter files which showed that Twitter was used as a vessel of the FBI. No surprise, right? Twitter Elon Musk challenged Adam Schiff whether he approved hidden state censorship and direct violation to Constitution. Comments comes in the wake of the most recent round of Twitter files, which show that Twitter was used as a vessel of the FBI. Here it is. Elon Musk, government paid Twitter. Government paid Twitter millions of dollars to censor info from the public. My own government, your own government paid millions to big tech to silence you. You pay for your own silencing. By your taxpayer dollars. That's what happened over on Twitter. And Elon went on to say, as outgoing chair of House Intelligence, did you approve hidden state censorship in direct violation of the Constitution of the United States? Adam Schiff, liar Adam Schiff. Those Twitter files were released on December 19 and lengthy thread by Michael Schellenberg. Part 6 of the files, which was broken down by journalist Matt Taibbi, revealed that Twitter's contact with the FBI was consistent and persists pervasive as it was subsidiary. And here it is, right, some of the mundane life San Francisco agents. Elvis Chan wishing Rafa Happy New Year along with a reminder to attend our quarterly next call week. Others requests for information into Twitter uses relative to active investigations, but surprisingly high number of requests by the FBI for Twitter to take action on election misinformation, even involving jokes, tweets from low follower counts. Between January 2020-2022 there were 150 emails between FBI and former Trust and Safety Chief Yao Roth. He revealed a surprisingly high number of requests for the FBI to take action on election misinformation. Even joke tweets from Loeffler accounts. Musk also said Tuesday that he was in favor of seeing a new church commission, an idea put forward by David Stat Sachs, a church committee of 1975 and a U.S. Senate Select Committee that investigated abuses by the Central Intelligence Agency, the NSA, FBI and the Internet IRS. Yeah, we do need a new church thing. We need a church commission to investigate why the FBI intelligence community, we are engaged in social media censorship, including suppression of the Hunter Biden story, said Sachs, which Musk replied, here. Yeah. Adam Schiff is in for a long way. Because I think, of course, again, I think Adam, or I think Elon Musk has to receipts on people like Adam Schiff and other individuals in the government, who are pushing back real hard about being connected to the FBI in their efforts to silence Americans by going around the US Constitution, to use private companies to silence critics of the regime, critics that challenge the narrative of COVID and other things. This whole house cars needs to fall. And there needs to be prosecution, there needs to be people to get a prison. Because if not, nothing's ever going to change. We need radical change, and we need radical action to make sure that the message gets across. And then some big news. The CNN turnaround continues as new CEO Christley K. CNN new head honcho continues to lead the charge, and I have to admit, friends, I like this guy. I like this guy a lot. I mean, talk about an upgrade to go from whatever the frig Jeff Zucker was to now this guy. It's a big sign that things are changing, and things are changing quick, to go from Jack Dorsey Vagina God Day and the rest of these Twitter goons to Elon Musk. And from Jeff Zucker to Chris Litcharts. CNN. The landscape of the media and social media is changing fast, and of course, liberal heads are imploding worldwide as they continue to lose power and lose their grasp over the mainstream media and over the flow of information. And what happens when lefties are losing their minds? Well, like usual, they all form into one collective structure, into one giant viscous blob, and ooze screeching and screaming and launching vicious attacks. Chris Lynch, of course, has been the target of said attacks, but similarly to Elon, he's not taking any event as he takes on the collective leftist mob, and essentially tells them to take a hike, lasting the blue and non-woke mind virus Twitter mob in a new public statement, which gives you a good idea as to all right, folks. Take a look at this. CNN boss Christliké slams left-wing uninformed critics attacking him for making the network less partisan after he fired hundreds of anchors and staff. CNN head honcho Chris Ledge has responded to criticism that he's receiving from his move to make the network's historically progressive coverage less partisan, slamming the backlash as uninformed vitriol. Honestly, if you think about it, uninformed vitriol essentially sums up the leftist mentality or the theme of leftist rhetoric over the last however many years. In an interview on Sunday, the network's chief executive addressed responses to his approach around featured voices on the network since being tapped to replace ousted predecessor Jeff Zucker last February. That strategy has since seen a series of sweeping changes enacted by Litch, who has pushed hosts like Don Lemon and Jim Acosta away from opinionated reporting that became especially prevalent during Donald Trump's campaign and presidency, seeking to the station's roots as a hard-hitting news source. Litch over the past 8 months has revamped the newsroom with a series of hirings, firings and on-air shuffles, which has seen him condemned by left-wingers such as ex-colleague Keith Olbermann and gun activist Sharon Watts. You know, these two characters who are pretty much the epitome of out-of-their-mind left-wing blue-ain on Twitter lunatics. Speaking to the New York Post, Litch, who fully took control of the cable network in May, slammed the criticism that he's faced especially from the left as stunning. He said, "The uninformed vitriol especially from the left has been stunning. Let's add it of the backlash that he's faced for replacing progressives like Lemon and Cuomo with more centrist figures, as well as hires like Stephen Gutowski, founder and editor of Firearms website. The Reload proves my point. So much of what passes for news is name-calling, half-truths and desperation. Let's seem to be responding to the recent criticism following hires like the Tosky by figures such as Watts, the founder of Moms Demand Action, a grassroots organization dedicated to implementing increased public safety measures to quell gun violence, especially in schools. And what they mean to say are probably what they should have said. There is people like Shannon Watts, leftist authoritarians who want to take away your right as a law-abiding citizen to own a firearm. Oh, and by the way, speaking of gun grabbing, a little bit off topic, but if you guys are paying attention, I'm sure the media has tried their best to shove it under a rug recently. I believe in Toronto, Canada, there was a mass shooting in an apartment or condo building. It seems as though gun control doesn't work exactly as these activists make it seem, especially when you look at mass shootings on a per capita basis. But let's move on. Ex-CNN staffer Keith Olbermann, along with several others, have vocalized their disapproval, with Lidge going this far to label him as a TV fascist after his plans to overhaul the struggling network. I don't know who wrote this article, but this is terrible. I'm having to edit it on the fly. Have been vocal disapproval with Litch. That's not English. Anyways, let's keep getting distracted. Let's move on. During his interview with the Times, Litch, who also made waves when he cancelled Brian Stelter as reliable sources, amid his attempt to tone down any displays of partisanship by on-air talent, asserted that his mission is to offer a viable information outlet to both conservatives and liberals with his various maneuvers. No one wants a school shooting, Litch said, but we have to understand the culture of people who like guns. He added this is not vanilla centrist or boring. The comments echoed those made by Litch to the Financial Times in November, when he proclaimed that one of the biggest misconceptions about my vision is that I want to be vanilla, that I want to be a centrist. That is BS. You have to be compelling. You have to have an edge in many cases. You take a side, sometimes you just point out uncomfortable questions, he added, but either way, you don't see it through a lens of left or right, which has repeatedly said that his plans for on-air talent at the network are for them to offer a rational conversation about polarizing issues and a version of news dedicated to basing polarizing figures such as Trump 24/7. So the article goes on. And Christliké then speaks about the whole breaking news thing, how CNN operates under this model, That everything is breaking news and the world is always ending, the sky is falling, democracy is under constant threat and new threat to democracy every single day, it seems, and he wants to move the network away from hyperbole and constant leftist fear-mongering. And this is a big significant change, along with everything that's going on with Twitter. This is a major step forward. I mean, think about the implication when it comes to elections. Think about the power that Democrats have lost in 2022. Of course, the election itself wasn't great. And we'll have to see what happens in 2024. But moving forward, the landscape is finally changing. CNN played a major role in going after Donald Trump. The non-stop partisan breaking nonsense in the end was actually impactful. The constant demonization, the doom-saying and the fear-mongering as if Donald Trump was going to destroy civilization as we know it. Well, Jeff Zucker, CNN at the time, was very much behind that narrative. They were a key component in promoting all the fake news stories to destroy Donald Trump's reputation. They were the ones running 24/7 coverage of the Russia collusion nonsense, the Stormy Daniels garbage and every other disproved hoax, supposedly involving the former president. Well, no longer is that going to be the case, at least based on what we're hearing from Kreislique so far, and if we couple that with the left's major loss at Twitter, basically losing their platform, losing control over political speech, and probably best of all, the FBI losing control over political speech and the flow of news stories and information on the platform. Well, that's a real hit to the leftist election arsenal. The simple fact of the matter is, what's going on here is good. There's finally a counteracting force to leftist cultural power, and we're seeing incredibly powerful individuals like Elon Musk and Kreislique standing up to the leftist mob. Elon essentially waging war against the woke mind virus, and Kreislique explicitly calling out the leftist mob and their, quote, uninformed vitriol, not taking a cowardly middle ground stance of my both side-ism, or both sides are bad. Okay, now he is explicitly saying the left-wing mob has completely lost control. They're out of their minds. He's essentially calling them lunatics in their response to what's going on at CNN, typical leftist response when they lose cultural power. But as we know, and as we've covered, when the left is lashing out in anger, it's generally a good thing. It generally means that they're losing power or that they're nervous and desperation is kicking in. And certainly with the loss of editorial control at CNN, with Chris Cillizza no longer there and with all their primetime network hosts gone, and with the loss of Twitter, the mass implosion of leftist minds certainly makes sense and tells us exactly what we want to hear, that we're starting to see an evening out, at least a little bit, not even close to even yet, but it's happening a little bit slowly when it comes to power in the cultural sphere. And that's a good thing, because we know concentrated power never leads to anything good. Thankfully enough, we're finally seeing some checks and balances. Thanks for being here, folks. Big hug. Ciao. Goodbye. God bless.